Hello and welcome to another Bodgit and Leggit video. Now we have behind us a 2013 BMW 530 and it's been an absolute nightmare to say the least. Wheel nuts or wheel locking nuts from hell. Well, actually, should I say, whichever donkey tightened these. It's going to take me about 2 days to take off 4 wheels. Just ridiculous. I have broke hundreds of pounds worth of tools on this because of some donkey just smashed them on with a big powerful gun. To give you an idea, I'll show you some video clips and stuff in a second, but my impact gun, which is the battery powered gun, which I have done a video on it removing 1,000 Newton meter bolts, it wouldn't undo these bolts. So these bolts have been tightened up well over 1,000 Newtons. To the point where when I actually put my gun on it and kept going, as you can see, I started damaging the bolt. It was that tight, and the rattle on the gun actually started damaging the bolts. I'm going to show you a clip now of me doing the other side just to show you how hard the wheel nuts were coming off. So I'm going to show you how stupidly tight these are. Just ridiculous. Now I loosened one of these yesterday, so I don't want to get that one. Let's get one that I didn't loosen. And just watch how tight these are. Now the car's on the lift and the handbrake is on. Fuck! Should really wear gloves. This is how tight these are. That's how tight these are. And someone's more or less put the lock nut that tight as well. Don't know how they've done it, but it's making everything an absolute nightmare. Oh, well, there we go, look, people. If that doesn't prove how tight these are, just broken the socket. There we go. Absolutely ridiculous. Need a new socket now. It's broken everything, this car. There we go. We broke an impact socket just on the normal wheel nuts. I then broke another socket on the normal wheel nut. So then it come down to trying to get the lock nuts off, because obviously, if you can imagine how tight these were, imagine the lock nuts. And obviously you've got nothing to grip on with the lock nut. This is, camera's gonna focus, the original lock nut. You can see it's all smashed. Now this is only plate. This is really crap quality. That any way's tight, they're gonna break. BMW used to allow you from the chassis number to order a forged one of these, which was 1,000,000 times stronger, but they don't give you that option anymore. So that was broke, so I couldn't use that. The only tool that actually got me out of it was the Hubitool kit. Now I know what you're thinking, well, you're just saying that because, you know, Hubitools send you tools and blah, blah. No, that's not the case. I didn't want to use the Hubitools because you have to drill it out, and I thought, yeah, I just can't be arsed with, you know, spending all this time drilling it out. It's too long, it's too messy, I don't want to do it. So I tried every single other tool you can possibly imagine. I went through all my tools and 2 tool guys to try and get these wheel nuts off. Couldn't do it. Everything broke, which I will show you, and the only tool that did it was the Hubitools kit. What I decided to use first was the original Dynamex kit, which you smash this on, like there's a sleeve over here, and you smash this on, and this molds to the shape of the star inside. And as you can see, if the camera focuses, that just shattered and smashed inside, and it's still in here now. Let's show you this. Now you can still see the bits that's in the bottom of that where it snapped off. So that went in, it tight, and it just smashed off. I used the master locking kit for this. That smashed. I sent that back because the tool guy had it, didn't work. So I said, if it didn't work, we're not going to get it. It just smashed. To the point where it's actually, if you look at a normal bolt, how it's supposed to be nice and kind of chamfered, no rough edges, no sharp edges there. This one was that tight. If the camera, hopefully the camera's going to pick up. You can just see it there, see all the striations coming off. But not only that, there's a huge lip. Hopefully, I don't know if the camera is going to show it. But there's a huge lip built up where this has just been crushed in that tight. It's actually started lipping the metal and crushing the metal. We've been really lucky we haven't damaged the wheels. Now, I've removed the other 3 wheels. I'm going to show you how to remove this one. We haven't damaged the wheels, and lucky enough, the bolts actually haven't damaged the wheels, because that's another thing I was afraid of. But that is essentially how the Hubitools kit works. Now, I know what people are going to be saying. Just smash the socket over it. I tried that and I broke it. Not only that, you've got a little ring in here that even if you do smash a socket, it's just going to keep spinning. I've even got these special things which are designed to take off wheel locking nuts. By smashing into them, they taper. Even this with the sandpaper inside, even this special tool wouldn't work. Nothing would work. And people are going to say, well, just cut off the ring and then smash a socket on. You can't. There's no room. There's barely enough room to get a screwdriver in there. And if I start putting some sort of cutting in there, I'm going to damage the wheels. So you can't do that. Then you might say, well, smash off. Then what you might say is, well, smash off the ring, and then you're left with just the little nub. I've tried that. Also, look, I've tried smashing a socket over that when the little ring is removed. As you can see the damage that's done there. Tried that, made no difference. There's not enough here to socket to grip to once the key, which is this part, once the head of the part is removed. And as you can see, once you remove the head, this is the ring. And then this just falls off. So there's not enough meat left on it. And as you can see, I've really smashed the socket over there really tight and just snapped the socket. I've even done it on that one. As you can see, it made no difference. It just didn't work. I have tried everything. Like I said, every single specialist tool to take off these didn't work. 2 tool guys just didn't have anything. They had everything I had, and they had one more thing, and it just didn't work. Only way I found to do it, you just see there, to drill a big hole with the special Hubitools kit. And even that is, it takes some doing, because these have been over tightened to the point where they've stretched. And I'll show you that in a second again. These bolts have been stretched. I've never, ever seen wheel nut bolts to be stretched, ever. This is a brand new bolt. As you can see, it fits in there really nicely. My batteries have just gone, so I can't show you the measurement. We don't need to know the measurement. It fits in there perfectly. Let me get another bolt, which we just took off. Look at that. Won't go on. By over 1 millimeter, these are stretched. Maybe doesn't sound a lot, but it's huge. If you look at, oh, put all this down. If you look at the shine, if the camera's going to focus properly, maybe not. You can't really see it, but you can see the threads are really, really shiny. I have tried everything, every possible way. Only tool that worked was the Hubitool kit. Saved me big time on this, absolutely big time. Because the next thing is cutting off the wheel like this. Yeah. Because after the hubby kit, I don't know of any other kit. I know people are going to say, oh, well, this works. I've never had a problem. You maybe never had it. I've never had this problem. These have been completely well over tightened, so I don't care what anybody says. You say, oh, I've just smashed a 16, 17 mil socket. No, I have broken sockets, as you can see. I've broken everything to try and get these off. Nothing. Like I said, it's not just because it's Hubitools or anything like that. Every tool company knows it, but they send me something. If I don't like it, I can say whatever I want, essentially. I don't have to say it's good. If they say I have to say it's good, I won't review it. Only a tool company the other day was going to send me stuff, but I had to do certain things for them. I said, no. If you want me to do it, I'll do it. We'll do it my way. And I was reluctant to use the Hubitools kit because of the way it's designed. And I just thought, no, I can just smash that on, click it off, and it's going to be done in a second. Everyone's happy. Yeah, bang, great. No, just didn't work out that way. So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to show you how to actually remove this stud using the Hubitool kit. I'm going to get the Hubitool kit and I'll show you what's in it. And the other thing is, on the newer cars, like some of the newer French cars and stuff, this type of kit will not go in there. It just will not go. So what did I use? I used the Dynamex one. I used the Master Set one. I used this other special one. I also used the ones with the little teeth inside. That made no difference. That was 4. And I also kind of used a socket. So that's 5 different ways of trying to get this off, and it wouldn't do it. And I got to the point where once you start smashing stuff in, you kind of have to keep going because you've done that much damage that no one's going to get it off anyway. But like I said, what I have done is I have not damaged the wheels at all, which is important because obviously these wheels not going to be cheap. To replace all the wheels is going to be, even the studs aren't cheap. I have advised the customer to get all new studs. He's only got 5 or 4 at the minute just to replace these ones, but as you can see they are stretched, so I'm going to tell him once I torque these down to around about 90 newtons, which is what they should be, you know, have to check them after 20 or 30 or so miles, and if they're coming loose, just buy new ones. They are stretched, so they are going to be coming loose. But anyway, so I'm also going to be greasing these up with some molly grease and stuff and getting them all in there, so nothing like this is going to happen again. But this just goes to show, don't be an absolute donkey and just get the gun and because this is the problem. You know, you're stuck on the side of the road, you're never going to get this off. You know, you go to a garage that doesn't have all these other tools. I was just lucky enough I had everything. They're going to be cutting the wheels off. They're going to be doing something major, or you're going to have to be taken to another garage. But if you've got a flat wheel, what you're going to do? Believe me, it's hassle nobody needs. This was just, oh, Leon, will you put 4 tyres on for me? Yeah, no problem, come back in an hour. 2 days later, it's still here. So I said this is going to be a really good one to show you actually how to undo it. I was going to kind of hammer the sockets in there just to show you, you know, look, it's just not going to work, but there's no point. The evidence is here. The evidence is here that I've already done that on the lock nut, and it just didn't do anything. It's smashing my tools. I can't afford to be smashing any more tools on this, so I'm not going to do it. I have figured out a way after like the second wheel, I think. So when I was doing the third wheel, I kind of figured an easier way of doing it. So that's what I'm going to show you. So also, don't kind of do what I did and just kind of go full gorilla on this, because that's not going to work. There is certain things you have to do with the Hubitool kit, and I, just like everyone, I don't need to look at the instructions. Why? I know what I'm doing. I rushed it, and I broke a drill bit on my own fault because I didn't use the guide. There's a special guide for the drill bit. Once I got a bit of the way, and I thought, oh, do you know what? No, I don't need it, and I'll just quit, and then bang. I twinged the drill to the side and I smashed the drill bit. They're very, very, very expensive and very special drill bits that are in the kit. You use them properly, they'll last you a long time. Also, you're not supposed to go over 3,000 revs with the drill. So that's on most drills, that's just on speed 1. So you just leave it on speed 1, 300 revs. You leave it on speed 1. I've got a special machine which I will show you, but I know not everyone's going to have this, and I can actually press the trigger, and it's a rev per minute machine, and I can see how fast things are turning. That's the way I set up my drill. But on an average drill, number 1 setting is 300 revs. So there you go. You don't need to use any WD-40, anything like that. You don't need to use anything. You'll actually the drill bit will start to slip if you start to use anything. As long as you keep it under 300 revs, you won't overheat the drill bit. As long as you use the drill guide, you won't snap it. And you're drilling about 1 millimeter a minute. Now, I know that sounds like a really long time, because once I take this head off, I want to be drilling about 15 mil into this bolt, which you think, oh, that's 15 minutes, just gonna, but actually, because this is what I originally thought, it's not actually that bad. Once you start getting to drilling, you know, it's not actually that bad. That's why, like I said, I originally didn't want to use this kit. I've had this kit for a long time, and I haven't done a review on it because I just kind of thought, you know what, this just takes too long. Why would I bother? And actually, it's the kit that saved me. It's the kit that's absolutely saved me and the customer. If I used it first, I wouldn't have smashed all the tools in it, but I just thought, oh yeah, I can get these off in seconds. Anyway, so it's not actually as bad as you actually might think. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get everything set up. Now I've explained everything, and believe me, this is where I really needed a camera crew, because I was going, well, as you can imagine, there was things throwing, there was words said, it was just a nightmare. And that's why I started breaking bits, because I was just rushing. But on it, don't rush. You have to go slow to go fast. It's the best advice ever. Go slow to go fast. believe me. And there's a couple of little tweaks I've done with the kit that I think is going to make, well, my life easier, and if you get the kit, your life easier. It's one of them things that if I didn't have it, I don't know what I would have done. Well, I had to have took the job to somewhere. I had to tell the customer I couldn't do it. But by that stage, I've already done that much damage to two of the nuts that even another garage is going to be stuck. So believe me, it's one of them jobs. If I knew maybe at the beginning would I have done it? No. No, I just wouldn't. I would have said, sorry, I'm too busy, bye. And but there we go. So what we're going to do, we're going to get everything set up to what we need, and I'll show you exactly what's in the kit and how to use it. We'll get this wheel off, we'll put the new tyres on, and we'll say bye-bye to this in BMW. Sorted. Now, there's just two things you don't get with the kit which just make your life a bit easier. One is a magnet. Handy to have a magnet for all the little swarf. I'll show you that in a second. The other thing is a little spring on the drill. I'll show you that in a second. Just go through the kit. Here we have the tool to bang the actual stud in. Then we have this here, removes the stud from the stud, moves this stud from the wheel stud. Then we have the guides, the drill guides. Use the drill guides. They're all different size and shape depending on the size and shape of the wheel. Or sometimes you can actually smack these over the lock nuts like that, which is also a drill guide. But in my case, on this, and we have three different sizes here. My case, I had to use these ones on this particular car. Here we have the actual studs you drive in, and then we had two drill bits, which obviously mine's in the drill. So that's essentially what you get with a kit. Very, very simple. And ordinarily, if these weren't absolutely, stupidly tight, you could just drill straight into the head, smack this in, and take it off. It's just because these are stupidly tight. I found a slightly better way, I think. So what I found is when you put the actual drill guide in, as you drill it, it wants to come out. And you have to hold one of your fingers on it and then hold the drill with your other hand. And it's just, especially with a drill like this, it's just easier to have two hands on the drill. So what I did is, I've got a spring. Now this spring is actually off a brake drum assembly kit, so from brake drums. And as I put that on, it happened to be the right size, and it'll keep pressure on it, but as I'm going down, it'll actually compress as well, so it'll allow me to actually go past it. This means I can have two hands on the drill, and I can just get a better stance, and I can drill a lot easier rather than having one hand on the drill and one hand trying to hold this in place. Just easier, just a simple spring. I think it's brilliant, and it will allow me to, once the head's off, it'll hold it in there and it'll stop it spinning back out. It's just a hell of a lot easier. So the way I have found to get this head off, because at the minute what we need to do, this is the head we need to take off, and this is then the ring that when you smash a socket over just spins and doesn't do anything. And all that's actually taken the wheel off is these fine little threads. So all that's taken the stud off is these fine little threads, and this is that tight that them threads just shear, so it just spins. There's nothing I can do about it. But there is also another thing in the kit which I didn't show you. On the newer Renaults, the whole thing decides to spin. So this little gadget, which is in the kit, is designed to go over it. You put a span on it, and it stops it from turning and allows you to actually drill the head, rather than the head just turning and turning and turning. So that's what that little one is used for. Right, so the way I found, 23mm 11-sided or 12-sided socket, put it over, doesn't take much. Not hitting it hard, not damaging the socket. And then all I do, this is where you do have to be careful. This can take a couple of minutes. I'm just going to hit it side to side, up and down. See, it's moving. And eventually, after you've done that a few times, it will just take the head off, just like I showed you here. It'll take the ring and the head off, and it'll just allow us the bolt that's just there. Typical, the one that I did off camera on the far side was more or less off now. And all I'm going to do I'm just going to keep going up and down, side to side with light taps. Once I start feeling it's getting a lot loose, I'll turn the camera back on and just show you what happens. Right, I think we're getting there. There we go, look. As you can see, I've got the head and the ring inside the socket. Only took a couple of minutes to get you inside to see what that looks like now. See, too bright on it now, is it? Let's get the torch. Now, as you can see, we're just left with the actual stud. And again, unfortunately, there's just not enough there to smash a socket over and undo it like I did show you with the other ones. It's just not going to work. But what this is going to allow me to do now is drill straight in the middle there, which is essentially straight down the threads. It's an 8.5mm drill bit, so it's not going to damage the threads. The centering tool, make sure you get it in the middle. Obviously, that is important. So I'm going to set all that up now. This is what I use to get the RPM on the drill, but like I said, you don't need to do that. It's just I happen to have it, so I might as well use it. Number one setting on most drills is around 300. If you are unsure, you can just kind of start and stop. After a couple of minutes, you know, maybe take a break. But if providing you keep it under 300 revs per minute, you will not damage anything, and it will just keep drilling and drilling and drilling and drilling. If you try and go over it, try and go too fast because you think you're going faster like I did, you're not going faster. Honestly, I promise you. You have to go slow to go fast. This is the important part. This is the part that if this doesn't work, you are screwed. You are absolutely 100% screwed. You're going to have to be cutting your wheel off if this doesn't work. To try and get anything in there and weld it, you're going to be damaging. You're going to be screwed. Believe me. Take your time in this next thing. Even if it takes you an hour to drill, not that it will, but even if it does, surely an hour is better than damaging wheels, spending hundreds of pounds on wheels and damaging, you know, 500 pounds worth of tools like someone did. Anyway, so I'm going to get everything set up and I'm going to show you, you know, how to get everything lined up nice and good. All right, so what I've got is I've got the centering tool that I need. Now, you'll find this particular one is absolutely perfect now the head's on. Once the head's there, it is a little bit loose, but you can put some tape around it. But now this can go in that slight bit more, it's absolutely perfect. So all I'm going to do is put it in. This is where I have to move the camera. Right, I'm just going to put it in. Make sure we're okay. Because all I want to do is take it away and make sure I'm smack bang in the middle, which I am. So I'm happy about that. Now you need to make sure that, because you don't want to be going off at an angle straight away, because if you do, and you do go off at an angle, well then you're going to be in trouble, because you're going to maybe hit the threads of the stub axle, you're going to maybe hit in the wheel, you're going to just start doing damage. So I just like to be 100% sure that I'm in the middle. And what you need the little magnet for is every so often you can just put it in there, take all the bits of crap out. This is the part that takes time. My spring isn't quite long enough for the first couple of mil, but once you get it in, you can let go of the thing. That is bang on in the middle. And you can see already how much I've actually taken off. Now, I'm not going to bore you with me drilling this, obviously, because that's just going to be boring. It could maybe take me 10, 15 minutes, whatever it's going to take. It may take me long because I like to stop, pull the stuff out, let the drill bit cool down, even though I'm still under the 300, but that's just the way I like to do it, just to make sure. And I'm going to go 15, 20 mil in, because that's how long the stud is. The stud is 20 mil. The more you can get to bite in, the better. So I'm going to take my time on this now. Even if it takes me an hour or so, it doesn't really matter. And I'm going to keep drilling this. Once I get about halfway through, I'll show you everything, and then we'll turn the camera back on. Sorted. All right, let's try and get you in there so you can see the progress I'm making already. See, I'm smack bang in the middle of the bolt. You can see all the bits of swarth coming out. Let's just see how much we've got now. As you can see, all that. And like I said, honestly, it doesn't seem as bad actually drilling it as it does sounds. And what I mean by is a millimetre a minute. That's what kind of put me off at first. I'm like, I can't be asked to do this. I'm just going to smash that on, take it off in seconds and be done with it. No, why not? Fucking why not? Right. So I'm going to carry on with this. There was a couple more things we have to do before we actually extract it. So what I need to do is, once I got this drilled in enough, and what I like to do is get my gauge, get one of the pins I'm putting in, and line it up with that so I know how far to go in. I'm going to lock that off now. And I know when I put that in there how much further I need to go. I need to drill that much into the stud. So once I've done that, I know. Then I'm going to have to put it on the ground. We're going to take off all these bolts. I've already undone these bolts because this is before I actually knew how bad these lock nuts were. I did actually undo the two front wheels. The one I showed you with it smashing was the back wheel. But anyway, so we'll undo these. Then what we need to do is get a dead blow hammer, and from the opposite side of the lock nut, I'm going to hit the dead blow hammer on the wheel from the back side to kind of, you know, give it a bit of vibrations, to loosen it. We won't loosen it, but it'll just kind of help. Then what I'm going to do, believe it or not, is get my gas torch inside here on the wheel disc, not on the wheel, on the actual disc itself, close to the stud, and I'm going to heat it up, and that will hopefully just help as well. I'm doing everything I possibly can, because if I put this stud in and it slips or it moves, I honestly don't know what to do after that. I don't think there is any tool out there. The two tool guys that came to me, even they don't know of anything else that's out there if this fails. So yeah, I'm going to take my time. I've got all the other three off like this way, so this will come off this way as well. Sorted. Right, I've taken all the other wheel nuts off, and let's get the camera in a bit more. Hopefully you can see the hole all the way down there. Hopefully that's showing up on camera. All the other wheel studs are removed. So what I'm going to do now is I've got my dead blow hammer. I'm going to move the wheel nut up to the top and just give it a few taps. You don't have to go mad, but I like to spin the wheel. Now, the next bit is the important bit. We need to get the tool designed to knock the stud in. We need to get our stud, which is here. Now, with this particular one, this part of the stud is more or less the same size as this inner part. Where's the old one? Is this inner part here. So I've just got a drill bit, and I've just kind of, you know, cut some of the little splines away. And I've drilled it a bit longer on this side, and if we can get this past it, we're okay. If not, we're still okay, because that's how the others came out. But so you just put that in there, line that up. First you need to get your hammer ready. Now you obviously have to be careful here, you don't slip and smash the wheel, but you'll feel it when it can't go in anymore. You can just kind of give it a quick look. I think that's in all the way. We're at the edge there, so I'm just going to go a bit more. Now, we are definitely in. What I am going to do is a few more hits, because the vibration of hitting this in also will help loosen it at the same time. So it's no harm giving it a few extra taps. like that. Now, what I'm going to do to lift it up like that, because I want to get the gas torch in there just to heat the disc, which will hopefully transfer a bit of heat into the hub, which just might expand it a little bit to help me. All these help. I'll put this down on the deck, get the camera set up, then I'll get my torch and we'll see if she comes off, boy. All right, hopefully you can see. I'm not touching the wheel with this. It's just this might not do anything, this might make me feel a bit better. Right, I didn't do that for long. It's a moment of truth. 17mm socket, you'll kind of feel if it's going to go or not go. Oh, it's always a... Is it going or isn't it? It's so scary. There we go, people. How cool is that? Oh, great. You just don't realise how happy something as simple as that can make you feel. Oh. Let's just lift it up a bit. Yeah! I know it's only a wheel stud, but Jesus Christ. Oh, so happy. Oh, there you go. Now, unfortunately, I should have maybe got a slightly wider angle so you could see how much this bar was bending. But I just wanted to get it all one kind of camera shot so no one accused me of cheating. As you can see, the studs on that are all shiny as well, so that's been stretched. There we go, people. The only tool that got it off was the Hubitools LugDriller. Oh, there we go. That's the kit. Absolutely fan-bloody-tastic. Now what you need to do, the last thing is this fella comes in here, you can hit it and kind of bend it off, put this in a vise, and this will take out the actual their stud from your stud. Also a tuning fork. How annoying is that? Yeah, that's going to piss people off. So there we go, people. It worked. I have 4 wheels off. Yeah. Now all I've got to do is put 4 new tyres on, and then I'm going to I'll show you me torquing them, and then yeah, that's it. We have the new tyre on. I tried to balance this tyre, or the far tyre, and it was completely warped. The customer was complaining there was a slight vibration in the front, and this tyre, or this alloy, was warped, so I had to put it on the back. No other choice. But just remember, especially with BMWs, sometimes they have a different wheel at the back to the front, completely different offset. Now that normally does, the back tyre is normally wider when that happens. These tyres are all the same size, but just bear that in mind. There's numbers on the front, there's numbers inside. Make sure they all match up, because otherwise, if you put the front wheels on, well, sometimes they don't even fit, sometimes they don't even swap. So I've had to do that, got the tyre off, got the stupid run flats off, and all I'm doing with this is getting some molly grease, getting the studs, and I'm just buttering them up, just so nothing stupid can happen again. Tighten them to proper specs. I'm going to do it to around 90, 95 Newton meters. just so we know we've tightened them absolutely 100% properly. I just put that there for the minute just so it wouldn't fall off, but I want to butter that up as well. So I'm just going to butter all these up just like I've done earlier. There's no point in me showing you that. Get it on the floor, tighten them, and then there we go. This job that has been an absolute nightmare is going to be over, which is awesome. One thing I did want to show you is the drill bits. There's the special drill bit. Kind of almost looks like a masonry bit, but it isn't. Special drill bit. Keep the revs properly, no lube. This will go straight in, no problem. Just wanted to give you some idea of how tight these were as well. These are the extractor studs for this. Now they do advise you to use a torque wrench to take these off, because there is a torque. Can't remember off the top of my head. I'll leave a description down below to all the frequency asked questions about these. But there is a torque setting, you know, don't go beyond. I went beyond a lot beyond. As you can see, just at the camera focus, can you see that one's completely twisted? Is it showing up on camera? There we go. You can see the straight lines, and this one is completely twisted. And these are hardened steel. These are not normal cheap steel. These are hardened steel. That's how tight these stupid wheels were. So just let me get all these buttered up, get it on the deck, tighten them, done. Just done. Bye-bye, BMW. Bye-bye. Right, let's tighten these. 95. See, now look at that. That's really interesting. That proves that that bolt is definitely stretched. That's one good thing about an electronic torque wrench. See how I was keeping the same pressure on it, and that was going to the, but it was also coming back. See if I can get it again. See? I'm pushing that down, and it's not tightening. So, again, I can't believe I caught that on camera, but that is fantastic. That just goes to show that them bolts are stretched, and that's how you know, especially when you tighten up a head gasket, especially with electronic torque wrench, you can actually tell if it's stretching, because it will go up, and as you keep pushing down, it's going back. See that? I've kept the same pressure on it, and it's going back. So, yes. Unfortunately, we are going to have to get all new bolts. But you can keep an eye on them. That's sometimes just fantastic with the camera. Just how I happened to get the bolt breaking, the socket breaking, so people could see how tight it was. And I've just got that bolt stretching. So there we go. Now, granted, that's the only one that's done it. All the others didn't do it, but the others, they're still stretched. They're still not, I wouldn't be happy with them. The customer knows about it. I'll grease up my nose, that's all you need. He's going to check these after about 20 miles or so. But we can clearly see from that stretch, that is a really good thing about having a digital torque wrench. So there we go, people. Just a nightmare of a job. The only kit to get me out of it was the Hubitools kit. I'll put a link in the description to their Facebook page, to their website, and also exactly what the tool is. They've also got a frequency asked question on that tool as well. So there's loads of people ask questions, and there's loads of information about it. If you want to get one, it saved me big time. Just like I said, go fast. Go slow to go fast. Honestly, it doesn't sound as bad. Millimeter minute sounds really bad. Once you're physically doing it, it's not bad. So there we go, people. Look, hope it helps. Thumbs up, subscribe, all the usual. Don't forget, links up here, links down below. But most importantly, don't forget, get your hands dirty. See you for the next one. Sorted.